We have a bag of bones. These bones came from short ribs that I made a while ago. Another piece of meat that had a bone in it that I carved out. Anytime you have leftover bones, I always bring out my inner Jeffrey Dahmer. I keep them in a Ziploc bag and put them in the freezer until a day like today comes along and I go to make some more beef broth. So these bones are going to go in, like I said, these are pre-cooked. So we're going to have some help from some bones that are not pre-cooked. Some beef shank, which is kind of like the leg bone. We get some marrow bones, some neck bones, and some oxtails. We're looking primarily to get the collagen out of the bones. So right now we're going to roast these bones so that they match these other bones. We're just going to coat them with a little bit of oil on both sides, roast them for about 20 minutes in a 400-degree oven, take them out, flip them over, another 20-25 minutes, and at that point we'll add some vegetables to the mix, and we'll see what that looks like in just a bit. Here's a carrot. This is an old carrot. This is the best thing about the stock is you get to use up a lot of the vegetables. So we're just going to give us a rough chop here. Try and keep everything the same. You'll notice here I got one finger in front and two in back, and my thumb is kind of as a guide to push things forward. And we're going to do about an inch or so. It doesn't have to be perfect. Let the knife kind of do the work for you. We just want to keep everything out of the way here. Work left to right. This piece of celery, again, not great. Normally you'd peel it a little bit. It's got a little bit of stringiness going on, and this root end is usually pretty tough to eat, but we don't care about that because we're just going to look for the flavor. Same thing here, kind of very roughly cutting, and the cut you use is less important than the fact that everything is more or less the same size. That's going to help everything cook consistently. And again, I'm using this front or this middle finger as kind of a guide. And my sous chef, Roger the dog, is here to clean up any mess that we make. Hi, Raj. Like I said, you want to be working clean the whole time. Alright, now here we have an ostrich egg, I believe it is. Technically it's an onion. And we'll pause for 10 seconds for station identification while the dog wags his tail against a bag. We'll just kind of top and tail it, take the front end of that off and the bottom root end, and cut it in half. Okay, and we're just going to peel off this outer layer here. And we'll take this layer off there as well. Just like we have the bone bag, I have a bag of scraps, peels mostly, the parts of a leek you wouldn't normally use, you know, the green part, the stems of a mushroom, pretty much any part of a member of the onion family is good to go as long as it's not covered in dirt. But the skins are fine. They give a nice color to the finished stock. And this tough outer skin that we would probably normally discard is actually really good for our purposes. So I'll just put this out of the way for now so we can continue on, but we will come back to this in a moment. I'll just put this out of here and clean up our board. And we're just going to do a little rough chop here. Cut down the cook time here. And we did 3 that way, so let's do 3 this way. Alright, and now we got rough chopped onions. These are going to go, like the rest of the stuff, into our bowl. One of the secrets to a beef broth is to use tomato sauce, or tomato paste, I should say. I like to put it in a Ziploc bag, flatten it out, put it in the freezer, and then when you need to, you can go and break off a piece, and you have exactly what you need, but you don't have to throw away the whole can of tomato paste. Here, we're going to use quite a bit of it, so I'm probably going to use most of this. I let this thaw a little bit so it's nice and soft. Just going to toss it in there. Maybe I won't use the whole thing, but a few tablespoons. Everything's kind of by preference here. That should be good. So just kind of toss these, get them covered, and they're going to join our roasting bones in a few minutes. So our bones are good and roasted, and now it's time for the vegetables to join in the fun. Back in the oven for about half an hour or so till the onions are starting to get charred. So we have removed the bones and the vegetables from the oven. They're nice and roasted. We transfer them to the Instant Pot or the Ninja Foodie or the pressure cooker of your choice. And what we have left over is a bunch of brown stuff in the bottom of the pan, which looks nasty. It's actually the secret to the whole stock. Many chefs have been killed for throwing their stuff away. Well, maybe not killed, but probably yelled at by a scary Frenchman, which is probably just as bad. So we will try and avoid that fate, and we will get rid of all of this residue from the bottom of the pan and transfer it to our stock pot full of hot, happy vegetables and meat. This stuff, by the way, is called a fond, and it's where all the flavor is. So we're going to deglaze the pan with a little bit of red wine. Don't use cooking wine. That is basically like salt in liquid form. Use your favorite wine. Oh, you shouldn't have a favorite wine. You're in high school. Never mind. We're going to cook off the alcohol a little bit too while we heat this up. This pan is going to heat up pretty quick, so I'm going to grab a glove to protect myself. And just kind of scrape away, kind of move the liquid to the side of the pans and get all the good stuff as much as you can off the bottom of the pan. Another probably another minute or so. We're going to transfer this into the pan with the rest of our happy ingredients.
A few moments later.
We took our vegetables and our meat and we transferred it to this pot here. This is part of the pressure cooker we're going to use. If you don't have one of these, you can just put it in a big stock pot, fill it up with water, and let it simmer for forever, literally forever, like almost a whole day. Alright, this will get it done in a couple hours. Alright, I'm in the kitchen with my friend Darth Vader, and we're going to set him to pressure mode. I like it at around 3 hours. I find at 3 hours the collagen from the bones really starts to come out, and it enhances both the flavor and the texture of the finished stock.
3 hours later.
Our beef stock is rested in the fridge for a few hours, and you can see we have a nice solid layer of fat here, which is much better than the old-fashioned way, trying to fish it around the bowl, frantically chasing it with a spoon, trying to skim up every last bit. Here we let time and temperature do the work for us. Everything is kind of in one space. So take a big spoon and a bowl. We're just going to scoop off this top layer here. Just very gently go across the top layer. And you'll see it comes off in pretty even chunks.